What's up guys, Gully Boy back at you with another popular songs video, and this time we're going to be checking out the top 10 most popular songs from Travis Scott. Now, if you're actually someone that tunes into my videos, then you will know that I reviewed Travis Scott's mixtape Days Before the Rodeo on my DatPiff series. When I listened to this mixtape, it really did a great job of showcasing Travis Scott's talents. But although I'll admit that Travis Scott is talented, a lot of his vocal choices didn't work for me. But the ones that did were really good songs. This leads to what I've always said about Travis Scott, which is that he's very capable of making incredibly dope tracks. But for every dope song that he makes, there's about 5 other tracks I don't fancy. But let's go ahead and check out Travis Scott's 10th most popular song, Stargazing.
10th most popular Travis Scott song, Stargazing, 133,928,090 views.
The first thing I noticed about this track was how hard the beat was. As soon as it came on, I had that stank look on my face as it slapped ferociously. Travis would then showcase his talents to the highest degree, as he uniquely uses auto-tune that's very appealing to my ear. The entire vibe of this track feels like you're in a trance, as Travis flows and sings on the instrumental perfectly. This has to be what it feels like when you're on hard drugs. Speaking of drugs, that's pretty much the synopsis here, as Travis is telling the listeners that this song is what it feels like to be high. The second part of this track has a different vibe, as the beat switches to a raw sounding trap beat, which consists of Travis also switching up his flow.
Okay, I've been up for some days, I ain't got time to lay, just to drown out all these thoughts I try to kind of think.
Once again, Travis does a great job showcasing his talents, as every style is done really well. He will present a more traditional sound here, as he'll recite bars all the way through. One bar in particular didn't age well though.
And it ain't no mosh pit if ain't no injuries.
But all in all, this was a great track that showcases Travis's artistry really well. This song is also the intro to his third studio album, Astro World, and I must say that this was a great way to start off an album.
9th most popular Travis Scott song, Out West, featuring Young Thug, 136,099,289 views.
Make it out west, slang it out west, go metallic knife.
I had no idea Travis Scott and Young Thug had anything to do with this song. I've always heard this song in passing, which majorly consisted of people dancing to it on TikTok and Instagram. When I used to hear the chorus part of this song, which is what people dance to, I had no idea that Young Thug was rapping that part. I don't know if I'm tripping or not, but every time I hear Young Thug, he sounds completely different. I will admit that I haven't listened to enough of his music to notice if he has a distinct rap voice, but every time I hear him on features, he sounds different. Anyway, Young Thug would do exceptionally well here, as his unorthodox flow is quite infectious. The synopsis here is that Young Thug and Travis are outlaws on the West Coast. Young Thug will rap about how he's smashing multiple chicks, and Travis would inform listeners that his crew isn't to be messed with.
It's up and stuck, thought you can cost the game, what was you thinking of?
He'll also talk about sipping scissor as it helps him with stress. Travis would once again come through with a dope verse that showcases his unique rap style. His many ad-libs also adds to the creative element of his verse. And of course the instrumental is extremely catchy. All of these elements combined makes this a fire track.
These days I pour all of my pain out in a cup.
8th most popular Travis Scott song, Can't Stay, 141,607,941 views.
You gotta watch out where you rock it, shit get real. Drink too real, I can't be fake, don't know the.
This is another track that has a trance-like vibe. Once again, Travis would do really well showcasing his creative use of auto-tune, but although I'll admit that this track has great creative elements, some vocal choices on this song don't appeal to me. I think I said this a bunch of times already. When artists hit high notes mixed with auto-tune, it annoys me quite a bit. But not only does high notes mixed with auto-tune annoys me, so does high-pitched singing throughout a verse.
I'm to everything I need to live. Chicago, baby, she just wanna drill.
The only way I'll enjoy this vocal choice is if the artist does it in a way that's appealing to my ears. The featured artist Don Toliver is a perfect example of this style not working for me. I will admit that he has pretty good singing vocals, but those high-pitched sounds just don't do it for me. I also can't tell if he's using auto-tune or not, but if he's not, then that boy can really sing. Travis is definitely using auto-tune, and just like I said before, his use of it isn't appealing to my ears. This isn't a horrible track at all, as it does a great job of capturing that trance-like essence. I could see this track being played in the club, which would lead to people vibing to it heavy, but for me, as a standalone track, I won't go back to it.
7th most popular Travis Scott song, GATTI, featuring Pop Smoke. 142,126,757 views.
My bitch love Coco. Woo back, baby.
I forgot to mention this, but this track along with Out West comes from a compilation album called Jack Boys. Jack Boys represents Travis Scott's record label Cactus Jack Records. This album consisted of features from Lil Baby, Quavo, Offset, Young Thug, and Pop Smoke. GATTI is the song that features Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was another artist that was creative and unique in his own way, but if I'm being honest, I could never get with his style, which consisted of elements of New York drill. This brings me to my next point of not really liking the New York drill sound as a whole. This track definitely pays homage to this rap style, which ultimately makes it not appealing to my liking. Travis's creative auto-tune rap style also doesn't match with the New York drill instrumental in my opinion.
Duck away, she wanna lay up and hibernate. I took a chance, there's a lot to take. I took her right in and up right away.
And speaking of New York drill instrumentals, they all pretty much sound the same, which makes the sound of the genre very repetitive. And with all that being said, this one's a hard skip for me.
6th most popular Travis Scott song, BIEBS in the Trap, featuring Nav. 156,864,542 views.
Versace my clothes, I with a white hoe and she snorting 3 lines like Adidas. A black girl rolling off Molly.
Here's another instance where vocal style choices ruin a song for me. This is also another song that has that high off drugs type of vibe. Speaking of drugs, that's also the summary of this track, as BIEBS in the Trap is a reference to doing countless drugs at a house party. The featured artist Nav also produced this track. The instrumental does a great job of putting you in a state of someone that's high off drugs, but the execution of his vocals are not appealing to me whatsoever. I hate to sound harsh, but Nav's auto-tune vocals literally sounds like a bug is flying by my ears.
I just put an 8 in a liter with a white bitch sniffing on Bieber. Are you sure you want to party with the demon?
Travis Scott's flow at the start of his verse annoys me to the highest degree, as it's very simplified. His verse would get better once he switches up his flow, but it would already be too late as I already wasn't rocking with this track. All in all, this was a hard skip for me as I can't get with the vocal choices.
Beast it, bite me, ride me, strike me, indict me, snipe me.
5th most popular Travis Scott song, Antidote. 418,309,150 views.
Popping pills is all we know. Inhales is all we know.
Here's an example of Travis showcasing many creative elements with the use of auto-tune. Now, although he does a great job presenting all these elements, most of these showcasings are not intriguing. I've come to realize when Travis decides to hit high notes, I don't like it at all. I don't know what it is, but the sound of him hitting high notes irks me. But his singing during the chorus is really good, and it matches well with his ad-libs. It's just when he decides to up the pitch of his singing that bothers me.
Spent the check on a weekend. I might do it all again.
Here's also another track that highlights the fact Travis likes to pop pills and sip lean. He'll also encourage his fans to do the same when they're at his night show, which also involves mosh pits and brawls. He'll then ultimately state that anything can happen. When it gets to the third verse of this song, Travis will switch up his flow to a more traditional rap style. That part was absolutely fire, as it showcases that he isn't a one-trick pony.
Back it up, day to day, young nigga, you know you gotta go get it, my nigga. They hating, they staking, they waiting, don't be mistaken.
But although this song has some good things about it, it also has its negatives, which ultimately makes this one a skip.
4th most popular Travis Scott song, Butterfly Effect. 421,272,943 views.
For this life I cannot change. In the hills, deep off in the main.
I really like the vibe of this track. This time around, Travis comes with a very laid-back style that works incredibly well. His auto-tune vocals flow perfectly over the spacey instrumental. Travis Scott would also provide a unique concept for this track, as he would refer to his current lifestyle as a butterfly effect. For those of you that don't know the meaning of the term butterfly effect, it's basically when a small action leads to a big result. Travis is pretty much informing the listeners that each small step that he took to chase his dreams led to him becoming the success he is today. Travis would also inform listeners that he loves his new lifestyle so much that he never wants to go back to his old one, which consisted of him being broke and bummy.
We've been moving for some time. Alright. Flexing, try to exercise.
Travis's vocals on this track are extremely good, as he'll provide more creative elements throughout his verses. This is an instance where a track was perfectly executed from the vocals, instrumental, and concept.
Third most popular Travis Scott song, Highest in the Room, 597,119,170 views.
I'm the highest in the room. Hope I make it out of here.
This track has a real nonchalant vibe about it. It's also another chill track, but unlike Butterfly Effect, this one kinda bores me, and that could be due to its dreary vibe. But with that being said, Travis will still provide ingenious vocals. This track also has an interesting concept, as Travis reflects on his relationship with his girlfriend Kylie Jenner, along with stating that he's the highest person in the room that's baked off drugs. But just as I stated before, I can't get with the overall vibe of this one, as it puts me to sleep. Maybe that was supposed to be the point.
Second most popular Travis Scott song, Goosebumps, featuring Kendrick Lamar, 886,051,808 views.
I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich. Throw that to the side.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I only used to listen to this song for one particular part, and that's the moment in Kendrick's verse where he'll recite his lyrics in a very animated way.
That pussy to die for.
I've gone on record to say that Kendrick Lamar shines the most when he's featured on songs, because he kills his verses every time. But now that I've finally listened to the song in its entirety, I can honestly say that this is an amazing song. The synopsis here is that Travis and Kendrick are expressing their attraction to the opposite sex. In the chorus, Travis would state that he gets goosebumps every time a particular woman comes around, and when she's there, all the things in life that stress him out go away. He could also be referring to the woman as a metaphor for drugs, but Travis will once again showcase his amazing talents with the use of auto-tune. His melodic singing combined with those spacey trance-like vocals gets the job done every time.
I'm pulling up right beside you. Pop star Lil Mariah when I text kick game wireless.
Kendrick's addition to the song is also a plus, as he'll also kill his verse with an incredible flow and creative vocals. All in all, this song is incredible as it showcases many creative elements that work well with each other.
The most popular Travis Scott song, Sicko Mode, featuring Drake, 1,129,922,565 views.
Sun is down, freezing cold. That's how we already know when it's here.
I'm not gonna lie, the first time I listened to this song, I wasn't rocking with it, but when I ran it back about 3 more times, it became extremely catchy. I've gone on record to say that Drake's voice annoys me, and that still reigns true, but him and Travis work well on this track. This song is divided into 3 parts. The first part consists of Drake introducing himself and Travis Scott. He'll then inform the listeners that Travis Scott is in sicko mode. This then leads to the second part of this track, which consists of Travis flowing over an infectious instrumental. He'll definitely go sicko mode as he drops dope verses, which include samples from the likes of Big Hawk, Luke from the 2 Live Crew, and my favorite sample of this track is where Sway Lee says someone said.
Someone said,
Shorty face, Tommy out the blue.
someone said.
This will then lead to the third part of this track, which involves a more upbeat instrumental provided by Tay Keith. Drake would do exceptionally well on his verse, as he'll provide really catchy lyrics that blend in well with the instrumental. Travis and Drake will work extremely well on this section of the song, as they'll play off each other's verses great here. This is a perfect example of not liking a song the first time you hear it, but once you give it another listen, you'll realize that it's actually pretty darn good. I think what threw me off at first was the many elements being jumbled all together, but once I knew what to expect on the second and third listen, this didn't bother me at all. All in all, this was a great track, as every element blended together perfectly.
Out like a light,
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 like a light.
like a light.
In conclusion, I guess that Travis Scott is always going to be that artist that has a bunch of bangers, along with tracks that I'll never go back to. Now this isn't a bad thing at all, as a lot of modern day artists are like this. I still need to listen to his other albums to see if I'll actually enjoy them, because the 2 that I've listened to had more songs that I disliked than liked. But I think that this playlist is a clear indication that I'll enjoy his other albums, as I like 5 out of the 10 songs, and 3 of those songs are from his third album, Astroworld. I think that's the one that I gotta check out. But with all that being said, I still believe that Travis Scott is very talented, and I understand why he has a fan base. I would also go as far to say that he's one of the greatest artists to ever use auto-tune, as he's completely mastered it. Out of all the artists that I listen to that use auto-tune have never done the things Travis has done. He perfected the ability to entice you especially within his songs, as he creatively provides a dark ambience within them. I think that Travis Scott will definitely go down as a hip-hop GOAT in the future, as he's extremely unique and he has an extremely dedicated fan base. But with all that being said, this was another episode of checking out artists' top 10 most popular songs. Y'all already know that I'm not gonna stop doing these videos, as I love hearing music that I haven't heard before. Be sure to stay tuned for the next installment of this series, cause it's gonna be another banger.